What's up, book? So, as you can see, new lighting for a new video, meaning I just put 2 flashlights up and I think it looks good, so we're gonna do a video like that. Today I wanted to review a book that I got at 11 o'clock today and I finished at about 3 o'clock. It's called Make Your Bed. It's by Navy Admiral William H. McRaven. Some background on this is that this admiral gave a speech for the University of Texas in Austin, Texas, and it's a very famous speech. He says, like, make your bed because it's a small accomplishment and it shows how the little things matter, and even if something in your day goes wrong, you still have that. I went into this book, I knew it was it's almost like a self-help advice book, but I loved this book. There was so much that I was just looking at, rereading. I read a lot of chapters more than once. It's so good. And before every chapter it says, if you want to change the world, and then it says what to do. This chapter says, start off by making your bed. This chapter says, find someone to help you paddle. I really liked that. I thought it was so aesthetically pleasing. It really like brought together what the chapter would be about, and I felt happy going into each chapter because it was like, this is going to be such a good chapter, or I remember him talking about this from the speech, so I loved it so much. So another thing this book had was it had a lot of good quotes. I'm going to read a couple because they really stuck out to me. The first one is, obviously, if you want to change your life and maybe the world, start off by making your bed. The second one was my favorite quote. I sometimes fell short of being the best, but I never fell short of giving it my best. And I really like these quotes because they're very relatable and they're things that everyone wants to achieve, everyone wants to accomplish. And this book in general and his story and everything he's went through it's so inspirational, and it makes you really appreciate what you have. Another quote I really liked was, at some point we will all confront a dark moment in life. In that dark moment, reach deep inside yourself and be your very best. I think the thing I really liked about this book was it wasn't about being the best out of everyone. This book really preaches be and do your best. It's about personal growth. It's about being, pretty much, as people say, living your best life. Okay. I think my favorite chapter, I loved all of them, but I think my favorite chapter was probably chapter 5, Failure Can Make You Stronger. I really liked this chapter because I think it's kind of something a lot of people need to hear. And what it says, if you want to change the world, don't be afraid of the circus. And in this book, the circus was extra physical training they had to do when they were last after like a workout or a challenge. And I think to me, it just really like spoke to me because it says don't fear it, because in the end, the people who were at the circus or the extra training, they ended up doing the best because they went through the pain, they had learned, they got better. In life, you will face a lot of circuses, you will pay for your failures, but if you let those failures teach you and strengthen you, then you will be prepared to handle life's toughest moments. I loved that quote among many in this book. There were so many quotes in this book where I was just like, if I could, I would highlight that or write it down. And I was honestly kind of shocked when I read this because there were so many that I was just like, wow. Usually I read a book and I'm like, oh wow, that quote kind of spoke to me because it was really funny, or that was a really relatable thing that character said. But in these, it's like just a person. It's not a character, it's a real person. And he's giving you advice. And this advice is stuff we can use. So I think this book to me, it is probably in my top 10 list. It is a book I would recommend to anyone. It is so good. It's so well thought out and like laid out too. I have nothing but good things to say about this book. It's a very quick read. As I said, it took me like 4 hours to finish it, and I was at school, so there's 125 pages, and the end part is actually the transcript to his speech, and I think I read it 4 times because I loved it so much. So I have nothing but good things to say about this. This really goes into the idea that if you want to change the world, you can't always do it alone. If you want to change the world, the little things do count. If you want to change the world, failure is kind of your friend. If you want to change the world, be able to sing when you're neck deep in mud. That is a good chapter. Overall, I just really want to talk about this book because it's so good, and it's a book that I think everyone should read because it kind of puts your life into perspective and things that go on in your life. I know this was a short review, but I just really wanted to make this. I really love this book. So if you guys did like this, I would say pick it up, read it, lend it to friends. A friend loaned it to me, and we're kind of passing it along a lot of people. We're all gonna read it, but it's so good. It's worth the few hours it takes to read. Well, that's all for today. I know I'm probably gonna do 3 uploads this week because I uploaded my last video, this one, and I'm really trying to get City of Lost Souls done. We'll see. But if you like this, comment what you thought about this book. If you read it, comment any other books that you would say are kind of like this one, because I'm very interested in reading more books like this. And of course, subscribe, turn on my notifications, and you can join book. We are growing in numbers, and we are ready to take over your house, your neighborhood, your state, your country, your continent, and soon the world. Hopefully next video will be up in a couple of days. I really hope so. We'll find out. Bye.